This is in class Algebra 2, the assignment from December 5th, pre-6.1 and 6.2. Question number 1. You are simplifying these polynomials you're multiplying. So 5 times 2 is 10, and these bases are the same, so you are going to add these two exponents, and you have a to the 7th power. So it's 10, a to the 7th. Number 2, you're going to multiply negative 3 times negative 4, which is 12. And these two bases are the same. So you're going to add them. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. And anything to the 0 power is 1. So it's 12 to the 0 power, which is x to the 0 power, which is 1. Next, number 3. 3 squared is 9. You're going to multiply these powers, so it's x to the 4th and y to the 6th. Power to power, you multiply. Number 4, 3 squared is 9. Power to power, you're going to multiply. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 3 times 2 is 6. Now to get rid of a negative exponent, you're going to bring this down. So your answer is going to be 9 y to the 6th over x to the 8th. So this is going to go in the denominator. Number 5, this 4 over 2 is 2. And you've got 8 a's in the top and 4 a's in the bottom. That's going to be a to the 4th on top. Number 6, 4 goes into 12 3 times. This x is you're going to bring it up on top, and you're going to have x to the 6th on top. This x is a negative exponent, so you're going to bring it on top and make it x to the 6th. The y is going to stay on top as y to the 3rd. Number 7, anything to the 0 power, this is going to give you a 1 on top, and you have simply 3xy squared. You're going to distribute this 0 here, 6 to the 0 power, and 3 times 0 is 0, which is anything to the 0 power 1. Next, 2 cubed. 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And 4 times 3 is 12, so this is 4x to the 12th power. And 3 to the 3rd power is 3 times 3, which is 9 times 3 is 27. Next, you're going to multiply negative 4 times 2, which is negative 8. These two numbers, you just simply multiply them. Now the m's, you're going to add the exponents. M to the 3rd, 2 and 1 is 3. N, you have an n here, which is, you have 3 of them, and 1 here, which is 4. Number 13, the r's. You've got 2 r's here and 3 here. In the denominator, there is 1 remaining. The s's, we have 4 s's on top and 4 on the bottom. They all cancel. And the t's, you have 6 t's on top and 6 on the bottom. These 6 t's are going to come up on top, so you have 12 t's on top. These 6 become These 6 t's on the bottom become 6 t's on top, so you have 12. 14. This y cancels with this y right there. 4 goes into 16 4 times, and we've got 3 x's on top. So your answer is 4x to the third. Number 15, we've got s to the fourth, but it's squared. So we have s to the eighth and t squared, and we have an st here. So we really have 9 s's, so 8 and 1 is 9, and we have 3 t's. Now, this one, you're gonna end up flipping, because this is to the -1 power, so you're gonna end up flipping this whole thing, and this is gonna end up being a positive h squared up here, and you don't need that 1, but you can just write it if you want. And then times h cubed, so this is gonna be h to the 5th. Bases are the same, you're gonna add the exponents. Now this one right here, this b to the -3, that's going to come up here to be b to the +3. And then this is going to come, because it's all to the -1 power, you're going to flip this, and it's going to be a squared b to the -3, because it's to the -1 power, so you bring it in the denominator. But this -3b is going to come up here, so you can just move this and make this b to the third up here. So now you're going to add these b's, and your answer is going to be b to the 6th over a to the 4th. 3. Now you could have also distributed that and wrote a to the -2, and then b to the +3, and that's why that b stayed here as a 3, and the a to the -2 went down here. And the last thing here, what you could do is you could do this in a couple of ways. You can distribute the -1, or what you could do is flip the whole thing. You could flip the whole thing and make it, get rid of that -1. Let's distribute the -1. So we're multiplying it. That's going to be an r to the 1, s to the -2, t to the third, r to the second, -1 times nothing is still 0, and then t to the -1. Okay, now we're going to do some canceling. You have 1 r here, but you have 2 here, so that's going to give you 1 r left on the bottom. You've got this is nothing here, but these 2 s's are going to come down here, so that's s squared. And then 1 t that comes up here is going to give you 4 t's left there. So we're done with the first section, the pre-6.1. Okay, next. For these ones, you're going to take the square root of 25 plus or minus 5 plus or minus 0.4, and this you can't do. Can't take the square root of a negative number. Number 4, simplify this. Square root of 9b squared is 3b. You've got 8 and 18, so you could do this as 8 over 2 Why am I putting a 2 here? Because it's an index of 2. So it's a to the 4th and b to the 9th. 18 over 2 is 9. And this one, you've got, this is going to be negative 5a. Number 10, you're multiplying and you're looking for square roots. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, and 32 is 8 times 4 is 32, and we're looking for 2 of a kind. So there's one, there's another one, there's another one, and there's another one. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Number 11, we're looking for 3 of a kind. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So we've got a couple of 2's, so it's 4. This one, it's cube root, and we have a negative here, so the answer is going to be a negative something. So 3 times 3 is 9, and treat this as just as a 24. So 2 times 2, 8 times 3 is 24. So we've got a 3 and a 2, so it's negative 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Number 19, we are going to just simplify this. We have the square root. 20 is 4 times 5, and we have x, x, x. So we've got a pair of 2's and a pair of x's, so it's 2x root 5x. Number 20, cube root. 81 is 3 3's and 3 x's. So we're looking for 3 of a kind. So we have 3 3's and 3 x's. So it's 3x times the cube root of 3. And 21 says the square root of 50x to the 5th. So 50 is 2 times 5 times 5, and we have 5 x's. So we've got a 5, and we have a couple of x's. So it's 5x squared times the square root of 2x. Now, the other way you could have done this is x to the 5/2 power. And this is really 2.5. This fraction is written as 2.5. So the whole number is 2, so that's where you get 2 x's. And there's 1 left. So there's 1 left underneath the radical left. Underneath, 1 is under the under the radical. 25. Okay, it's a cube root and it's negative, so the answer is going to be negative. So we have 250, 25 times 10, 5 times 5, and 5 times 2. So it's going to be 5. We're going to take a 5 out for sure. But there's 2 left underneath the cube root. So we've got 6 x's, so we've got 2 sets of 3 of them. And we've got 1 set of y's, but there's 2 y's remaining. Here's your answer. 26. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, 32, and 64. And we've got 3 x's, and we've got 6 y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll pull the 4 y's, or 4 2's, and the 4 y's. So what is going to come out is a 2 and a y, but what stays is going to be a 4, the 3 x's, and the 2 y's. This one, -2 is gonna come out. 5 of the x's, 5 of the y's. But what's gonna stay? 1 of the x's and 2 of the y's. $28. We're multiplying so we can take 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So we're looking for 3 of a kind. So, well, there's 3 2's. So really what you have is 2 times the cube root of 6 times 2 is 12. That's it. 29. Now for this one, what I would do, okay, we've got 8, and this is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. And we're looking for 2 of a kind here. So there's 2 8's. So the answer is going to be 8. The 5 is going to stay. We've got 7 y's. So turn that into 7 halves, which is 3 1/2. So it's going to be y to the 3rd power, but 1 left over. Number 30. You've got 6 x's. 5 and 1 is 6, and we're looking for 2 of a kind, so that's 3 x's that are going to come out. And this is 2 2 2. So a 2 is going to come out, and 2 times 3 is 6, so 6 stays underneath. Number 31. 4 times 5 is 20. You've got an x you can take out. You've got a y you can take out. See, you have 2 y's here. And you've got a 2 here that you can combine with this 2 here. So if you take, you have 6 is 2 times 3. So you pull these 2 2's out and combine it with this 2, this 20 here, that's going to make this 40 x, y, but there's still a 3 left here that you have to leave. So that's your answer. Number 32. 3 times 2 is 6. You've got a 5 here, and 5, so let's look at this 5. 5 here, and 5 times 10, and 10 is 5 times 2. So we've got 3 5's here, so we're looking for 3 of a kind, so we can take this 5 out. So 5 times 6 is 30. So those numbers are gone, but we've got a cube root of 2 left that has to stay. So these numbers are all taking, we're done with the numbers. We've got 7 x's left, or 7 y's, sorry, y to the 7th power. But we're looking for 3 of a kind. So if you're looking for 3 of a kind, how many sets? If it's 7 thirds, that's equal to 2. 3 goes into 7 2 times with 1 left. So we have 2 sets. So it would be y squared with 1 left. Or you could think of it as you have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you have y to the 7th, there's 7 y's lined up. You got 2 sets with 1, so that's where y squared comes from, and 1 remaining. And the last one from this set, 33. -1 times 2 is -2, so those are taken care of. We've got, let's piece this one together. 15 times, we got the cube root, let's put it together for a second. 2 times 15 is 30, because I don't think we can do anything with that. We've got x to the 7th and y to the 3rd. So again, just like that last problem, the 30, there's nothing you can do with that, because 30 is 3 times 10 and 2 times 5, there's nothing you can do with that. If you've got 7 x's, you can make 2 sets. So -2, we've got x squared, and we're gonna have 1x left. And you can take out all of these y's, you have 1 y, you can take out and nothing left, so that's your final answer. For 43, we're going to rationalize the denominator, multiply the top and the bottom by root 2. So it's root 2x over 2. 44, multiply root 8x. Actually, you could, for this one, you could take out a 2 and make this 2 root 2x. And now you multiply by root 2x. So the answer would be this is going to be root 10x over, and you've got a 2 that you can take out, so it's going to be 4x. This one, you're going to need, it's the cube root of 2x. So to rationalize this, you need a couple more 2's. So you need a couple more 2's here to make the set. So on top, you would have the cube root of 2 times 2 is 4, so it'd be 4x. And on the bottom, you'd have just a plain old 2. Number 46, I would separate these. You'd have the cube root of 5 over the cube root of 3x. You need to rationalize this denominator, so we need the cube root of 3x and another 1, which is really the cube root of 9x squared. That's what that is. So on top, you'd have the cube root of 45x squared over just a 3x. 47, you need 4 of a kind. So you need the 4th root of a 5, another 1, another 1. You need 1, 2, you're missing 3 of them. And 5 times 5 is 25 times 5. What's 5 times 5 times 5 times 5? Is 625. So really that is 625. And what's 625 times 2? It's 1,250. So this times this is 1,250 over, this is going to be just, you got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a plain old 5. This next one, 48. 3 goes into 15 5 times. Then you're going to reduce. 12 goes into, this is one big fraction. 12 goes into 60 5 times. So if you reduce that, that's a 5, that's a 1. X goes into 1x here, cancels with these, you get 4. And now this cancels, you got 4 x's, so it's going to be 5. And then an x, 2 x's come out, and then keep your 5 underneath. That 5 stays. Next one, 49. These are square roots. Let's see what comes out. This y squared, you can take a y out. So you have root 3x. You've got a y squared here. You can take this y out. And you have root 5x. Another thing that I see are these x's can cancel. So, and these y's can cancel. So really all you have to do is rationalize this. So you really have the square root of 3 over the square root of 5, which root 5 over root 5. So it's root 15 over 5. And let me redo that one, because I think I need a boo-boo. And I did. Let's cancel first. The x's cancel. 2 of these y's cancel with 1 y here. So you should have root 3 over root 5 and 1 y. That's what you should have. And then you're going to rationalize this denominator by multiplying by root 5 over root 5. So your answer should be root 15y over 5y. That's your answer. Number 50, let's reduce first. You've got 2, let's cancel. X squared, you've got 5x squared on top. And you're going to have this y here is going to cancel with 2 y's here. Okay, now these 2 x's here are gone. And 2 of these x's are gone. So you have 2 x's on top. This y is going to cancel with 2 y's, 1 y here. And now I would take out, because it's square root, so you have an x gone, one of the x's are out here, a y out here, so you have square root of 2 and square root of 5. Now all you have to do is rationalize this denominator. So multiply by square root of 2 and square root of 2, so your answer is x root 10 over 2y. And for 51, what you're going to do is simplify this problem. You have 6/5 b squared c over a squared. And then you're going to have 6b squared c over 5a squared. So now what you need to do is rationalize the denominator. You're going to need another couple more. You need another 5, and another 5, and another a. So you need the same thing on top. You need another 5, and a cube root of a on top. So your answer is going to be the cube root of 150 a b squared c over 5a. And we're done.